And I got a little game to play today. We're going to get to the news in a moment. But I want to let everybody out there know that we are actually going to be giving away a free e-cigarette if you're watching the prisonplanet.tv. All you need to do is call in to 866-582-9933. The first 3 callers that call in and say that they want an e-cigarette, we're going to have a little game. We're going to ask you each 3 questions. Whoever does the best will win the e-cigarette, and we'll ship it out on Monday. So that being said, they can be any questions I want, by the way. There is no democracy here. I am Jason Bermas, El Dictator of the questions. But free e-cigarette, we're going to be getting to that, but so much news to cover that Alex just couldn't get to today. For instance, the Connecticut House has passed that machine gun ban for all children 16 and under, even for target practice under the supervision of parents. This is big. See, they want to stop incrementally all of us from using guns. And they make it sound reasonable. Well, 16-year-olds shouldn't have machine guns. Let's take them away. Taliban wants a new world order, and this is out of the president of Pakistan's mouth. Now, I am definitely no fan of the president of Pakistan, but we're going to be playing another clip where he describes to MSNBC that bin Laden was indeed a CIA asset, something we've known for years, something I cover in Fabled Enemies. It's there. But Hannity's like, oh no, bin Laden doesn't exist. It's crackpot conspiracy theories when people talk about Osama bin Laden's intelligence relationship to the Central Intelligence Agency. Even though the Bushes and the bin Ladens did business forever together, it's absolutely 110% Johnny nonsense out of Hannity's mouth. So we're going to be covering that. We're also going to be covering some more WWE politics. Newt Gingrich, Mr. Bohemian Grove Club himself, is out there criticizing Pelosi on these torture memos. Like Gingrich didn't know what was going on. It's total phony, baloney, mainstream douchebaggery. That's what it is, okay? It's fake fights. What else are we going to be covering today on the program? I just got a stacker here. Verichip shaves 3 millimeters off human RFID chips. That's right. They're even smaller. Smaller than a grain of rice. They were 11 millimeters. Now they're 3. We're going to be covering that story. Drills all across the country. Now, I don't want to say that NLE 2009, which is going to happen at the end of July into the beginning of August, is going to set the stage for a false flag terror attack during the drill. I really didn't think that was going to happen. I felt like, we're covering it. They're public about it. Probably not the time and the place. However, this weekend alone, we've got drills going on in Colorado we're going to be covering. We've got drills coming up in Flint, Michigan we covered last night. And now we have drills in New York City. And you guessed it, the World Trade Center is part of it. We're going to get into that deep in the next segment. Now, we're going to do this e-cigarette bit at the 30 after. But remember, the first 3 callers, 866-582-9933, that want the e-cigarette will come on the show. We'll ask you 3 questions. Whoever gets the most right will win. We'll get your address, and we will ship it out. Good news from Judicial Watch, okay? Judicial Watch apparently has forced the release of bank bailout documents because you didn't want to listen to Alex Jones or Jason Bermas when we were telling you this was a scam. When we were saying, hey, they're stealing trillions. You're not getting any. We could all have over $250,000, pay off all our debts, pay off our home. They're not going to do that. They're just going to steal your money and laugh about it and buy other people drinks with it. It's totally and completely gross, folks. We'll be back after this. It's the InfoWarrior with Jason Bermas, prisonplanet.tv. Having some trouble with my IM over here, folks. So hopefully in the next segment, I'm going to know who my callers are. I can't type in. I may have to restart my IM at the next segment. I'm sorry if I can't go to your calls this round. But I have so much stuff to cover. Those were just a sample of the articles that I wanted to cover. I've got a whole nother stack right here. And that's not including with the news we went over yesterday. Okay. So let's get into the drills. How about we do that? How about we go to Drill Town, USA with this? Because they're all over right now. Outside of the ones in Flint, Michigan, Colorado, and now New York City. And, of course, the New York City drill is very close to my heart. We'll go over that one last. This one is out of Colorado's online news leader. Channel 9 News. I think that this is an affiliate of one of the major networks. I can't tell because it prints out weird. The sound of an explosion, racing police cars, and hovering helicopters would normally be the cause for alarm. It certainly would, but not in this case. The chaotic scene in Aurora on Friday will just be a drill. The city's Office of Emergency Management, OEM, oh, they have those everywhere. Yes, it's a federal program. You know, this is another reason that we have to report on these drills because, again, these guys are, they're insane. The insanity is just unbelievable. Let's see. The city's Office of Emergency Management plans to start the training exercise at Buckley Air Force Base sometime after 5 p.m. After a loud boom, emergency responders will race to the base and could impact traffic. Military helicopters will fly pretend victims of a terrorist attack to the Anschutz Medical Campus in Aurora. The drill is a test of how well civilian and military responders work together in an emergency. This is the largest thing I've ever done. So there's over 40 agencies involved. We anticipate that there's over 500 responders as well as over 200 volunteers that are going to play the victims. Oh, those volunteer victims. Unbelievable, folks. Aurora's 9/11 operators are prepared to answer calls about emergency drill. The city will also have recorded information about this on its phone lines and on its website. We have some really nice citizen journalists out there at We Are Change Colorado covering this, so hopefully we will have more news on Monday. But yesterday we talked about these Flint, Michigan drills, and they're very similar. And remember, Flint, Michigan is a place of destitute even further than if you watched Roger and Me from over 20 years ago. If people don't know what that is Michael Moore's first documentary. And he really goes after the car industry there. And he shows how Flint, Michigan had turned into somewhat of a ghost town. Well, it's going to get even worse now that GM is saying, oh, we'll just move our factories, whatever it takes. We'll move them to third world stuff. You know, it's just, it's depressing on one end. And on another end, it's just like, I mean, what are we supposed to do? I mean, all right. What we have to do is we have to hold these people accountable. What we have to do is record what's going on. We have to report to other people that these drills are taking place all over the country, and they are for domestic terror. They intercede with these DHS reports that are claiming that everybody's an extremist and everybody's a terrorist. And by the way, I have Napolitano here. A statement from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Janet Napolitano, on the threat of right-wing extremism. Remember, this DHS lexicon report goes far beyond any right-wing extremism. They go into left-wing extremism, hacktivism, anti-technology, alternative media. Apparently, I'm a terrorist, folks. I get up, I read mainstream media articles, and I show clips from the mainstream media, and then I tell you what it really means. I'm a bad boy. I'm not only a bad boy, I'm a domestic threat. And maybe a terrorist. Let me just read this. It's so much doublespeak because remember they said, oh, this lexicon report was never, ever approved. No, it was never approved for anybody. Total lie. It was done in late March, out for almost a month before it got exposed. Somebody basically sent it to a media outlet and they were like, okay, we're going to show this to the world. They say, oh, we pulled it back immediately. We would never put this out, ever. The primary mission of this department is to prevent terrorist attacks on our nation. The document on the right-wing extremism sent last week by this department's Office of Intelligence and Analysis is one of the ongoing series of assessments to provide situational awareness to state, local, and tribal law enforcement agencies on the phenomenon and trends of violent radicalization in the United States. There is no violent radicalization. Do you understand? And the reason that we read that is because all three of those governments are going to be involved in NLE 09, every single one of them. Local, federal, state, and tribal. Folks, I mean, it's just out of control. Out of control. Let me see what we got here. Let me be very clear. We monitor the risks. Oh, and wait, I got to read this sentence. I skipped over a sentence, and you know who they go after? Timothy McVeigh. Doesn't matter that Oklahoma City is a black op. Doesn't matter if they're running an ATF drill of the building exploding as it happens. Doesn't matter if all the ATF agents are on the lawn in full bomb gear before it happens. Doesn't matter. They can kill children on television. It's okay. They'll just tell you a bomb exploded outside of it. Meanwhile, I have the SWAT teams, let me say it again, the SWAT teams and the anti-bomb teams going in and taking out explosives. It's on video. It's not fake. It's not Johnny nonsense. It's not some kind of made-up fairy tale land, okay? They went in there. The Governor Keating, gets on 2 separate media outlets and says that it's a sophisticated group and that the bomb squad has taken out 3 unexploded bombs in the building. And it all changes when